Hey there guys, Godly Seafood here. I want to make a quick little video about a pretty interesting topic. I wasn't planning on this, however, after doing Darkmoor and just the experience I had with that, and now actually being a content creator, like I was like, hey, why don't I make a video on this? I think that this is a bit of an important issue. And if you can probably tell by the title, it's going to be KingsIsle's team up system. So with KingsIsle's team up system, it's pretty interesting. You go here, and in the original base vanilla game, you did not have this option. You had to stand outside the sigil without the team up menu, and you have to, I don't know, go to a different realm and hope that there are people standing there in order to, be able to farm this dungeon with extra help. Well, KingsIsle at some point decided that they were going to have all of the beginning bosses and all of their dungeons to drop the most insane fucking loot possible. Seriously. In Darkmoor Part 3, arguably the most valuable dungeon to farm in all of Darkmoor, and all of Darkmoor's 3 dungeons, you get all of the Malastare gear, the hat, robe, boots, the wand from Malastare. You can get an Athame from Yevgeny Night Creeper, right here, the very first boss of the dungeon. You can get the best ring of Darkmoor from Aphrodite, who also happens to drop energy gear, which is highly sought after on its own. 2 out of the 3 major, bosses who drop farmable stuff that's highly sought after, highly coveted, are at the beginning of a fucking dungeon. And you might say, well, hey, if you want to farm that specific boss, you can do that. It shouldn't be that big of an issue. But I would like to point out that KingsIsle's team up system does not work the way that it was intended. If we go over here and look at Graveyard, if I press the team up queue, it'll give me this option. It has the different, it says that there should be a distinction between questing and farming. And then you can choose your preferred, team size. Let's say I want to do Darkmoor with only 3 people, but I want to quest all the way through. I want another chance at getting the Malastare robe, right? Oh wow, it just took me into a dungeon. Looks like I'm doing this. If I move over here to the left, I have to worry about getting into this dungeon with a group of maxes. Like this guy, he's level 100, and he's probably either only going for the robe or only going for the Athame. See, this is what I mean. I wasn't even planning on, I was pretty sure this guy was doing the full dungeon. I was asking him, hey, are we doing the full dungeon? Are we doing the full dungeon? What about you, Duncan? Are you doing the full dungeon? Duncan's like, nope, I farmed this enough. Oh yeah, somebody else just left because they're tired of standing around. Seriously, I can't even make that up. I was about to run over to fucking Aquila, go into Tartarus, and talk about how Kronos is immediately available at the beginning of the dungeon and is slightly further away than the immediate quest giver of that dungeon. A level 90 dungeon that is rather hard to solo on any school. And then the team up system doesn't even work. Like look at all of this. I wasn't planning on this. Like, I just wanted to make a quick little video, got pulled into a team up, so I was like, oh, I guess I'm doing this. I was going to do it and then resume my video. And this guy's like, no, I'm not doing the full dungeon. I'm here for the Athame. I farmed enough. It's like, come on, dude. There are 2 other people who want to do the full dungeon, and I was just going to do it with them. And now that first person who poured it away has to deal with a 7-minute timer because we sat here and bitched at each other for 3 fucking minutes. And the guy who was farming for the Athame gets to just leave the dungeon now that somebody else has the timer and rage quit. And now he gets to go do the same thing for another team. And there's almost no way to stop that. The only way to stop that is for once you realize somebody is only farming for that, the only thing that you can do is go and put them on your ignored list. What was his name? Like Duncan something? Yeah, I'll never get into a team up with this guy again, but I just wasted X amount of time because I have to worry about I can't go complete that run now. Everybody's left because this guy didn't want to do the full dungeon. If the first boss did not drop the most highly sought after Athame in the game, or one of them, up until, recently level 160, this wouldn't be an issue if Aphrodite didn't exist at the beginning of Darkmoor Part 1, dropping, one of the more valuable level 100 rings and energy gear. Like, KingsIsle, please fix this issue. And for anybody who's thinking, oh, well, you're just whining, you're just complaining, KingsIsle has already shown in the past that they have the ability to fix these issues. Seriously, one of the first dungeons that comes to mind is Big Ben, where the second to last boss of the dungeon, that is completely optional, mind you, a boss that is the second to last boss of the dungeon. You have to go through 98% of the dungeon just to get to that side boss, that extra little optional boss. And then another boss that just happens to be in the same world is a boss called Smogger. Like a side boss called Smogger is only available once you reach this guy. Katzenstein is locked behind multiple different bosses, multiple different gates. You have to go through the entire dungeon, then you get to him, but in getting to the final boss to farm the side boss, you will have helped your team at the least get to the end. And this is a thing in multiple, like, early vanilla Wizard 101 dungeons. I'm the kind of person who, at the level that I have to do the dungeon, I want to go do the dungeon. I want to go run the level 90 Tartarus dungeon and fight Zeus, Hades, and Poseidon multiple times so I can get a robe with awesome death resist, or a robe with awesome life resist, or boots with amazing 10% pierce at level 90 for a pierce set to help me with stuff, or Zeus boots, or the Amulet of Divine Influence, which is like major bragging rights. Anybody who looks at this is like, wow, that person probably farmed it, didn't get lucky after 10 runs. Which I absolutely did, but hey, I still got it, fuck you. Like I had mentioned earlier, I understand that KingsIsle is a business, and the devs do not always get to be 100% in charge of the way that things get implemented or that things get done. I understand that they work with time constraints and have to worry about certain things. That being said, the matchmaking system should be able to help both in-game players and newbie players who want to run through a dungeon in its entirety. Those two reasons are why the team-up system fails and, quite frankly, sucks ass. Like, I understand the devs may not necessarily be responsible for implementing it and being able to make all the tweaks and adjustments that they can in the time that they would prefer, but this is an issue that's been around for years. Team Up has been around for years, even though it wasn't even originally available in the vanilla game. There's been time. Like, please, KingsIsle devs, please fix so that I don't have to walk into a dungeon with goddamn Duncan Nightblade who wants to farm for an Athame when three other people want to farm the final dungeon. I was completely fine with helping those people run Malistaire and getting back to this video. I could use an extra Kondavasi Victor's robe. But anyway, please fix, and also I love your game too much.
No, I keep pissing.